Everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing great. Thank you so much, everybody, for emails, feedback, and I'm very glad to see that some of my videos are more thought provoking or becoming. So, today I have this thought in my head, and I want to discuss it with you. That's something I'm observing, and I would like to share with you that love is definitely conditional. It's definitely conditional. And um, this video today is really a response to some of the comments that I got yesterday for my video about Ukrainian women and hard times. And a lot of men wrote, "Oh my gosh, if I would to lose my job, or if I lose my money, she would be out of it." And many people wrote that, and it was just so interesting to me because um, several guys wrote that, well, eventually she would walk away. Well, what is she supposed to do? Is she supposed to get you on her little shoulders and carry you and calm you down and give you a candy and make you some tea for next 5 to 7 years till you use her resources and go and find somebody you really like after you took everything that everything that she had? I know for my audience it's less of a audience for this topic, but I do have now younger men following me, and I feel that this is more applies to men who are currently under 40, men in their 20s and 30s. Unfortunately, many of these men were raised by feminists, and they just do not get and understand that being a provider, it's an honor, and they just do not get this. And I'm just here today to talk about that. Absolutely, all our relationships are conditional. One thing that even for the mother, we do love our children probably for the most part. We love our children unconditionally. Even if your child does something, or you know, in most cases, you forgive your child and you take care of them, right? You don't because your connection is on genetic level, it's on biological level, and so many levels, it's very hard to break that off. But I'll tell you this is from mother to a child or from father to a child. It is unconditional. But guess what? From child's perspective, it's also conditional. Why? I'm going to explain this. So, as I said yesterday, as I read a comment, and it was the man was sharing about, well, eventually she will walk away. And I wrote, eventually what? Eventually, it's 3 days, it's 3 months, it's 10 years. Of course, everybody eventually would walk away. Think about even if you are a parent to a child, mother or father, if you don't feel like feeding them, if you don't feel like, changing their diapers, if you don't feel like tending to them when they are sick, eventually they will be taken away from you. If somebody will realize, okay, this mother or this dad or this family beating their children, or they don't have the minimum that child requires, guess what's going to happen? It's also conditional. If you're unable to take care of your child, maybe you have mental health issues, even your child, they will take away your child, but even your child does not need you. Your child do not need you if you cannot take care of that child. So are we really like as little children? I cannot believe that I have to talk about these things, but I'm reading comments of these people and I'm just in disbelief. I'm in total disbelief that people really, I don't know. So men, unfortunately, especially these men that were raised by feminists, they becoming feminine because their mothers taught them how to deny their masculinity, their initiative, their chivalrous moves, or whatever that is, and these men are so weak and so feminine. They don't have to worry about being a target for a woman, because there is no woman that will target that. There is no woman that will be targeting, okay, let's me target, this guy who can barely make it. You not gonna strive from a lady who feels sorry for you. You're not gonna, a lot of men, yes, as soon as I lose a job, she'll be out of the door. I tell you what, good. You're not going to strive from a lady that's like, oh, honey, oh, let me just, what? Don't worry about this. Let me just, I'll take care of you. Just, rest a little bit. Yeah. Rest 1 week, 2 weeks, 5 months, 6 years. I have a relative, like relative ex person. Not gonna say who it is, but it's a relative that we are not that close, but um, we are not even blood relatives actually, but we just related to certain people. Anyway, so she was 17 years. She was taking care of a guy. Taking care of a guy, taking care of children. Children turned out crazy, having a dad that's just like, well, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. You know, so she ended up losing the house because he was trying so hard that she had no idea that a mortgage was not paid. Basically, she was working full time and he was home, and he stopped paying the mortgage. He was going out, seeing other women, and which is always happens as soon as you accept woman's help, you deny your own masculinity and you becoming a child. And in order to feel at least a little bit like a man, it's not unusual for a man to go and cheat because your woman is working. You do feel somewhere inside of you that you're a loser, basically. So you go out and get into some other women's pants just so you feel, yeah, you know what? I'm still a man. I'm so proud of myself. So basically, this is a real story that I'm talking about. So they have 2 kids, and one day she gets a notice that their house is for sale and it's non-repairable. So he hadn't paid for the mortgage. I don't remember how many months the house wasn't paid. But can you imagine that? I ask you, tell me one story where a man has been relying on his wife to take care of business, to take care of things, and it was a great story and a great relationship. Or tell me one time that it has been happening. It's never right. Yes, I know some people, more of partners and things like that. That's could be happening. Some people this is what they want. But what I'm trying to tell you is, you know, even think about this: when you having a family, it's you just signing for responsibility. Okay, you are signing for it. So yes, some men should definitely not sign for it. That is true. But what often happens is that you sign for it and then you are like, well, um, this is too hard, and well, I'm gonna take some time to find myself. But as you find yourself, your wife needs to eat something, and so as your kids. You cannot take day of the duty. Yes, you can rise and fall, and sometimes you lose money. If you're in any kind of business, you know that sometimes you lose money, sometimes you get hurt, but you just come and you fight every day, and you do the best you can. Um, it's imagine that, for example, let's take a mother and a child. If the mother says to the child, let's say the child is 3 or 4 years old, and the mother is like, Oh, honey, today was a rough day. I am not cooking dinner. I am not feeding you today. Um, Eventually, I will feed you, but eventually the child will be taken away from you if you are not able to take care of those you signed for. There is no eventually. There is no surprise that woman eventually will walk away. Yes, because her self-esteem will rise. She will realize she can do this to herself. She cannot feed five all these children plus an adult child. So anyway, um it's just so ridiculous to me, honestly, that just so ignorant. Eventually the child would be in foster care. That's what would be eventually. Oops. My connection just stopped for a minute. Exactly. Gregory Rivera, I totally agree with you. I mean, I can't believe I need to make video about this. I feel like I'm not gonna say this. Okay. If you know what I was about to say, you know what I was about to say. So let me see what's going on in the comments. But hi, everybody. Hi, Lance. Hi, Lawrence and Simon. Simon, what in the world makes you think? I'm not gonna talk about the politics, but what in the world makes you think that these people you just mentioned have a great family? What in the world makes you think that? If you have you seen behind the scenes? Have you know how they are behind the I don't need to see them behind the scenes that knows that they don't have a real relationship. None of these people that you just mentioned. And this is not to be this is not to this is nothing personal, but when it comes to wealth or politics, there is barely ever marriage because people truly care for each other. It's totally different. It has nothing to do with love, and you only know how things work, really work, when you are in there. When you are there behind the scenes, you cannot know what's going on. And I don't want to go into politics, but there are very little things going on in these kind of families, and a lot of those things coming out to public. So we all know this is not something to strive for. Yeah, well, you are entitled to your opinions. Yes, definitely. I mean, Bill Clinton was accused of multiple things that he done to other women, and underage too. So I don't even know how you can bring that up. This is nothing against you. I appreciate you being here, but and guys, let's not to make it about politics. We are not presidents here, and we are not rock stars. We are not movies, like billionaires and movie stars. If somebody is a billionaire, send me a message, okay? We can talk. Maybe we can create men's school for real manhood. So yeah, if you're in billionaire, shoot me a text. But we're talking about regular people. And to judge that somebody has a great family, you need to be once again behind that. Women have no respect for men who are below them. I can tell you this right away. Women do not want women have, they can act on public. um Women would act on public. Oh, it's my husband, I love him so much. But women do not respect men who is below them. This is just what it is. They just do not. They do not, because and it doesn't matter if it's a regular person or a politician or a movie star. If the woman is the person that makes it happen, she has no respect for the guy. Ask me how I know. I'm just telling you this. People can act all day long. Most people, I tell you more, most married people are lying. I have been married, I know what I'm talking about. Most married people trying to show that their life is amazing. They post pictures, oh, my husband is my God, or my wife, she is amazing. But most married people are lying. They want you to believe that they have this great social media or on TV. When people I mean, you can see, yes, sometimes you see genuine people and you can just see certain things, but most people are just giving you some dust. Yeah. And each time, yes, you know what? Those who were talking about, some families, yes, in some political families, woman is the ones that got a pair, those that just was mentioned, yes, I agree. So if she has a pair, she doesn't, who rules everything, and she has, every woman wants to look up to her man, not to look down. So let's come back to real life. But thanks for sharing, all of you, your thoughts. Just remember, my comments are not against anybody personally, but come on now. Yeah, I know, Wayne, about all these things. I cannot stand it, so I cannot talk about this whole situation. Yes, it's very sad. So, what was I talking about? Yeah, so guys, each time you would like to blame women for being materialistic, each time you want to blame women for, being superficial, women have a built-in survival instinct. We always look for the best. We always look for the strongest, the smartest, and the one that can provide. This is normal. This is normal. Now, how you handle things, how you do it, and all of that, that is, I'm not saying that, oh, you need to leave your man for another man, or you should turn your back for a man who got hurt, maybe he's in accident or something happened. But when I hear those, I just really want to stop doing my channel. When I see these comments, from guys, sharing that, oh, you need to support him, you need to feed him from the spoon, you will leave immediately, if something happens. Well, how many of you would stick around if your wife will go to fast food and become 400 pounds? How many of you would stick around if she stops taking care of herself? How many of you would stick around if you have a child with her and you come home and the child is hungry and dirty and sick and she's doing manicure, and you come home and the child is on the floor, in a diaper that's, needed be changed 5 hours ago? What would you do? Love is conditional. Love is conditional. You can, the thing is, when you break up with somebody, it doesn't mean you start hating them. um it's not that you need to start hating somebody because you break up with them. It's, you can still love the idea and person. Sometimes you have people in your life, you break up with them for your sanity, but you love them somewhere deep inside, because you, for whatever reason. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be an active relationship. Some people you need to love from far. Love is definitely conditional. The only unconditional love is for the children, and even then, there are some parents, there are some dads that's, as soon as they hear you pregnant, they're like, bye, it was nice, but time to go. There are a lot of dads to be that don't have conditional love for or unconditional love, knowing that somebody is about to have their child. They're like, well, that was fun, but here is where we are going separate ways, you know? And you know what? Oh well, so it happens a lot. Also, there are some women that decide not to have a child and, leave it or give it for adoption, which I think still is a lot better than other options. This video is not about that, but yes, absolutely. Any woman, if she sees that you stop trying, and the whole ship, on the water, SHIP, is about to sink, she's gonna think about her life. She's gonna think about the children. She's not gonna stay with you and wait. Oh, I am depressed today. I cannot get up. You don't have an option. You do not have an option. What are you talking about, Lawrence? Good, good grief. What are you talking about? Okay, I'm seriously, guys. I might take a week from this whole thing. Some people, Lawrence, I'm just, you often leave me speechless. Lawrence is saying some people steal hearts. Then it's impossible to love again without a heart. Check, it's still there. This is just your imagination, and this happens when you are, some people are super needy, and that's why some people are super needy. That's why they feel this way. Your heart is right there. It's beating right now. So is mine is beating. So stop saying this. It's like, anyway. Well, no. And by the way, I've recorded a bunch of videos of Patreon, guys. For Patreon, I could not upload them. There is a little bit of a technical issue, but it should be solved soon. Hi, everyone. Okay, let's lift up this vibration. But I am just sharing with you. I cannot believe how far things are going. It's unbelievable. All of us, there is no mother that can tell a child, I'm so tired today. There is gonna be no dinner, and tomorrow is gonna be no breakfast. I don't feel like it. Yeah, we might keep it for a month because honestly, I'm tired of being a slave to you, my dear child. But eventually I will feed you when I will feel like it, or I don't know. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's just as ridiculous. You probably think like, what? Why did she say these examples? Because it's the same example. It's the same. No. Bill, my dear friend, love is always conditional. It starts as conditional too. You don't meet somebody and fall in love if they hit you in the face, if they slap your face, if they mean to you, if they're rude to you. The woman fall in love with you. Yes, let's not mix chemistry and relationships, okay? Chemistry is instant. You see somebody, you're attracted to them, you just, you have chemistry for them, you want them. It just happens. I mean, you have no control of it. It's a desire for somebody. But when it comes to actual relationships, and that's something that grows to love, it's always conditional. Because a woman would choose a man who treats her well, who is, if she's smart, and all the other things. It's always conditional. I'm here right now. If all of you would start writing me nasty things, all of my 8,000 people would be cursing and saying mean words, I would say, screw that. I'm done. So, and I just put the exit button. You see, I'm here by my own will, but if conditions of our interaction change, I will not give this any of my time. That's as simple as that. So it's conditional. We just, we don't think, when we like somebody, Bill, when we like somebody, we don't think about it. Okay, I love this guy because he's kind, because it just happens. But as soon as that changes, the person have a right to walk away. Lawrence, it's not that you shared that. It's just that thought is a total. It means that you have a lot of work to do if you can even think that, because nobody is able to take someone's heart. It just means that you have a lot of work to do. It's fine that you share that. Listen, we all have work to do on certain things, so don't worry about it. People are not halves. People are whole. So if somebody left you, you were you half when you met them? No, you were whole. So your heart is inside of you. It's what you tell yourself. That's different. You need some time, Lawrence, and therapy. Seriously. Yeah. So let's bring positive vibe. Well, I'm always positive, guys, but sometimes we just need to have it real. What if I just sugar everything and it'll be like, oh, the thing is, oh, jeez, my phone is dying, oh, my iPad is dying, guys. What if it would be just like puppies and butterflies? Actually, I have butterflies on this. I have butterflies on my tiny. So you guys know that I'm a girl, the girly girl. But when I see bullshit, I recognize it. So let me see. Oh, thank you, Simond. Thank you so much for the support. Let me read your message. When I have asked men that have been married for decades, when I have asked men that have been married for decades what they love about their wives, they usually talk the fact that the woman picked him before he reached his potential. Well, it is flattering. It is flattering, and I do not mean to say that, if somebody is not, a millionaire or a billionaire, you should ignore them. It's about the effort. Man who is unmotivated, and man who is in denial of possibilities, he will never reach his potential. So a lot of women, they not necessarily are looking. I was talking about yesterday this in my video, Simone. I was talking about how important is the man with survival skills, the ones that keeps going. Most of the successful men had failed many times. They became bankrupt, they went through, but they just never stopped going. That's my encouragement to you. Never stop. When you keep going, there is not a single story of a person who kept going, honestly, kept going, whether it's business, whether it's career, whether it's mental health, physical health, whatever else. When you keep going, you always come someplace better. And that's all. So I do understand. I do understand. Women also appreciate when a good man chooses them if they don't look like a supermodel. Women also appreciate when men see something more than sex. If you ask a woman, she will that has a good husband, she would tell you, I really like him. Many Ukrainian women would tell that to you too, that I like my husband because he cares whether I'm hungry, whether I ate, whether I'm tired. This is how I met my husband, back in time. Some of you guys know my story, but he was the only one that actually cared about me, how I feel, where I am. I was amazed. He was so kind to me. He was wondering, what's going on. And a lot of men, you give them your heart, but in the beginning or even later on, the things they care the most a lot of times is sex. And women feel like like as if they don't have another value, or, this kind of like romanticized lust, but they don't care if, did you eat today, are you cold, are you tired, men who can comfort a woman and make her feel that way. Of course, all men, I mean, not just men, I'll tell you more, not all, not only men enjoys that, but basically we all, to finish my comment for Simone, um, is that, we all appreciate people who are our friends because of who we are, or our lovers or our husbands or wives. And I think that develops with time. Then it doesn't matter if she loses her looks. I mean, she maintains them but they change and you are fine with this because this woman makes you feel amazing. Or if he falls, he rise and fall, and she's not going anywhere because she knows that uh, he's there. He's not gonna just relax and complain. And she knows he needs her for inspiration. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, we all of us appreciate somebody who we know is genuine. Yes, all of us getting benefits. You get benefits from relationship, you get benefits from work, you get paid for your business or for whatever service you do. Sometimes you get tips, sometimes you get super chats, but you know that this person is there, that they are dedicated, that sometimes conditions are not perfect, but they dedicated, and you do appreciate that. Yes. So anyways, thank you so much. It's very nice when people love us for who we are. It's true. But if somebody is faulty from the beginning, if somebody trying to use you from the beginning, if somebody is denying of their masculine and feminine or feminine balance, this is where we run into a problem. So I think my iPad is about to run into big problem of no connection. Thank you so much again, Simone. I appreciate your support, and that thought is a good thought. Yes, Wayne, I know that quote. I know that quote. Women want their husbands to change, men want their wives to stay the same. Both are ultimately disappointed, yes. I think that, okay, I'm gonna try to say this before my iPad dies. I think that with time we earn loyalty. With time we earn loyalty, and we really build love and trust. If you have friends, if you have family, that there are some friends that, your close friend, busy no matter what. And hopefully your wife, or, your husband, or the person you love is that best friend, And yes, there are definitely moments when it's not okay to walk away. By any means, I'm not encouraging women to, walk away on their husbands, but you can always see if this person going to do something about the situation, or are they just gonna blame. I meet a lot of men that tell me how things are difficult, and mind you, I am an immigrant, and all the immigrants can just will laugh at you if you will tell them that. And now I'm not trying to make you feel sorry for immigrants, but it just makes that everything you do is about 1,000 times harder. Maybe not 1,000, but let's say at least 10 or 100 times harder for somebody who is from another planet, basically. So, and I'm a woman, and my entire family is in Ukraine. I'm not gonna listen to a complaint from a guy. I am not. because the times that he's going to waste my time to complain, he can get his butt off the couch and go do something. How about that? Unless, of course, my time is paid, then I can listen and I can suggest something, but I'm not free ears. A lot of people think, oh, you have such a beautiful heart, your ears must be free. No, they're not, because when I'm working, I'm working. But when you talk with me as a woman, I am not excited to listen about your complaints. And I am sharing this with you because you might find yourself in a situation when you don't understand why women turn around. We don't complaining to you about our problems. At least, most of us don't. And it's not a competition. It's just we want to see you strong. And you want to see us beautiful and feminine and bubbly. No, don't sympathize me. I don't need sympathy. I'm doing great. I just don't have time for somebody complaining. I don't have time for that. If you want to change your life, once again, if you want my ideas, if you want to pick my brain, it's not free because that's what I do. And if you respect it, you will have to do certain things. But when you are somewhere social and people asking you for all kinds of things, it's like, if I would be an OBGYN doctor, so if I go social place, would people ask me questions too? you know so that's some food for thought. And I want to have say this last thing. It's not a bad thing when somebody sees your potential and tells you, what are you talking about? You got this. You can do it. This has so much more power than sitting together with you and saying, oh yeah, you're the wrong gender, you're a woman, you're definitely oppressed, you cannot make them 7.55 or $8. Nope, you're a woman. I'm a woman too. I feel for you. You are an immigrant. Oh yeah, I'm an immigrant. Life sucks. Oh, you are a man, but you are the wrong age, the wrong race, the wrong language, the wrong background. Yeah, man, there is nothing you can do. Let's sit and cry about this. Yep. Yep. Meanwhile, immigrants come from Africa and becoming doctors and lawyers and all kinds of things. So I feel honestly, guys, I really feel when somebody sees your potential, it's just so absolutely it's so absolutely incredible, because people could see more of your gifts sometimes than there is no when you feel sorry for yourself and you make other people sorry for you, you let your lower ah, self shine. You make your lower self shine. Your lower. We all have pity and victimhood, and it's not a good place to be. So when the woman sees your potential, there is nothing wrong with that. See these butterflies? I'm not kidding here. Yeah, I'm wearing a jacket because I'm about to go out, and my house is cold. You know why? Because it's sunny and I've opened every single window and switched off the heating, so there is fresh air. Fresh air, guys. So my brain works. Lawrence, I do both. Thanks for asking. I do both. That's why I told you what I just said about, I can imagine if I would be an OBGYN. People like, hey, you want to take a look at something? No, thank you. I'm having dinner right now. Oh, thank you. It's actually it's even prettier than you can see. There's just a little bit of white out. Yes. Actually, it's made in Italy. So it's very springy. Guys, I love you all. I appreciate you so much. Simone, thank you again for making your point and for your generous support. I appreciate that. And thank you for being on Patreon. I didn't realize you were on my Patreon too. Thank you so much. Gregory, Lawrence, Lance, King Nero, Bill Howard, Moncher Mike, guys, Noel, and everybody else, Wayne. I appreciate you guys, and we having these talks for a reason. I really hope that my message will reach you, and we all appreciating we all appreciating the generosity, the being being genuine. I think the time always show, you earn the status. Yes, sometimes, okay, I'm gonna say a hopeful thought. This video is about that love is conditional, but sometimes with certain people you reach that mark of intimacy where even if you break up with them, even if you separate, you always love them in your heart. That is true. This does not apply to some uh, marriage and 5 kids and they need to eat. This is just very emotional thing. Sometimes life separates you from people, right? But sometimes, once again, it's earned with time, it's earned with special circumstance and high level of intimacy. Yes, I personally experienced that. I hope that some of you experience it too. Sometimes there are people in our life, and intimacy, I don't actually only mean sexual in romantic relationship or emotional intimacy in relationship with people as close friends. Sometimes, yes, even if you separate, even if something happened, you love them unconditionally. You do. You have love in your heart, even if you've split up, even if you had issues. You guys know my story. There was a moment in time when I had to separate from somebody that I loved, but my general human love and appreciation for certain things, it had never stopped. Empathy, just it, I did experience unconditional love, but unconditional love does not always mean you will stay with that person. But once again, it is possible to have unconditional love, but it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen instantly. It happens and you have no control over it. But even then, if that person is not compatible with you, it doesn't mean that you need to stay in a relationship where you're hurting. And just because you have unconditional love, you should show unconditional love to yourself and be in an environment where you can thrive, and from that space you can be friends. So I'm gonna share about this too in Patreon, because this is, I was about to share something very personal, but I won't do it here because it's really very personal. I'm gonna try to post tonight, but don't judge me if you don't see it till tomorrow. I have several posts. I was not able, I don't know why. Thank you guys so much for being here with me and being so active, and thank you for being my Patreon supporters. I really want to grow our group, and we're gonna have another live where you guys can hop in and we can talk. All right, remember, like, we had that late night live couple times, so we're gonna do that again, and then I will save it. Only for Patreon. Aman Mane, hello. Here you go. So that's what it is, guys. I appreciate your support very much. Thank you. Yes. You see, I mean, we can love people, very deeply, but uh, your love to you needs to keep you protected and safe. Oh, thank you, Lawrence. Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. Hey, Aman, I'm glad I made you happy. Okay, info seeker, I'll check that out. Yeah, King Nero. So, guys, I actually decided I'm gonna go live on public for now for the Patreon, but I'll tell you when, so you'll know the time. But when the talk is done, it will go to Patreon library. It's not gonna be here on public because we're gonna be sharing some very personal things. Yes. But in the practical life, I want you to understand that in practical life, love is conditional. The day the mother will stop taking care of the child, and if the father doesn't take care of it, the child is out in foster care. Okay? It is conditional. Even your child, guys, what helped me one time when I was really depressed? I just was really, really depressed. I look at myself in the mirror and I told myself, if I want to take care of this person I see in the mirror, of myself, even my son will not need me. And that has really suddenly magically stopped my depression because I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, this little human for who I just have an ocean of love and care. It's just unbelievable. But he would not need me if I turn to a psycho and I won't take myself out of depression. There is nothing wrong with experience despair and depression. And by the way, the best counselors, the best motivational speakers, the best psychologists have been depressed and have been even some of them have been suicidal. That's why it's so good, because they can relate to you. They understand your pain. It's like you have wounds, they have scars. So if you never felt anything, you can't relate to others. But if somebody would feel sorry for you, say, oh, I'm so sorry for you. I hate that shit. Sorry for my language. I absolutely hate that. Come on now, life is so short. So yes, when you realize if you don't take care of that mind, body, heart, and soul, even the person that loves you, even the person that you love, would not need you. They would not need you because why? Because you would be a burden. So unconditionally love yourself, so you will be an inspiration, a comfort. Uh, you would be everything for another person. When we unconditionally love ourselves, we becoming a resource, the wonderful place of inspiration and joy and love and care for another person. Right? It's not selfish to love yourself unconditionally. It's the best. If I love myself unconditionally, I don't need to go and hurt somebody, or get in somebody's face and try them to make me feel good, because I know how to make. Because if you know how to make yourself feel good, you are already in the right place. Yes, Lawrence. Yes, 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 yes. She was, and she was just